The name of Jesus is powerful. Never ignore the intercessory demand in your spirits. It may not be where God is taking you to, where it can be, because burdens can be an intercessory demand. Somehow you just be restless. You can't even eat. Your appetite will be lost. But something in you are just restless for you to pray. You're just restless. Sitting on how burdens can be manifested. Last 2 weeks, I came to church. I just felt this restlessness in my spirit. I've grown to the point where I don't ignore, even if I'm in a car where people are there. I don't care who you are. There's no protocol to this thing. There's no botish behavior to it. There's no beauty to it. So I was restless, and I just said, let me come to church. I came into the office, and Leko saw me the way I was looking. She was like, "First lady, are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine, I'm good." I plugged one of my noise cancellation headsets, because what it does for me is makes me locked up as if I'm alone in a room. And I felt this burden. I lay down. It was still doing me somehow. And I stood. I saw myself sitting on the fridge in the office. I lay on the ground, on the chair. Every corner in that office, I was praying. I prayed so intensely. I was groaning in my spirit without understanding what was really going on. I just found myself praying. And I couldn't hold back. I was crying at the same time, praying. Until it got to a point where I felt cool and I slept off. As soon as I woke up, I got a call from a friend of mine. Sent me a message that she needs to speak with me. What's up? She said she doesn't know what happened to her. But she just found herself almost dead in her house. And somehow she just felt this breath of the Almighty upon her. And there was nobody there. Don't ignore intercessory demands. Whether you're in a tricycle, in the plane, wherever, a burden can be an intercessory demand. This reminds me years ago, because listen, when there's a burden on you, when you press, when you start, when there's an intercessory demand upon you, you may not know exactly what you are praying for, because the Spirit helps our infirmities. We cannot understand what we're really muttering. But as you stay there, somehow, somewhere, either a call, it may not even be a call, you may likely fall into a trance. Somehow, if you sleep through after prayer, have you slept through after prayers? You will dream certain dreams that you were never thinking in physical. Don't play with it. I remember years ago, I was not married then. I studied biochemistry. Anyway, that's not important. But I was preparing for my exam. And somehow, as I took this biochemistry, one of these books, I was there and I was reading through. Next thing, I started feeling a weight in my spirit. I pushed the book aside and I started praying. I was so restless. I was praying on the ground. And right there, I saw, because I get to see trance, like sometimes a flash can just happen. I can be in the kitchen and see a flash somewhere. And I just saw this, like a TV display. I saw in front of my house, my auntie being carried to the hospital. I saw people gathered around. I'm like, what's going on? The trance just ended. I took my phone and called. And to confirm it, my mom says they were on their way to the hospital. My aunt is needing blood. They're taking her to the hospital. She's almost dying. I should pray. I only pray. And because I had prayed and I have seen, I was audacious in speaking the words I spoke to my mom. I said, she can't die. The blood of Jesus has already been supplied. I am saying all these experiences, these encounters in my few years on air to say that don't ignore intercessory demands. The weight you feel may not be for you. It may even be for a village you have no idea about. Maybe for a community somewhere you can't tell. Don't ignore it. Let me also share this, right? I don't know if you experience this thing where, because the weight, when you talk about weight, it may not be like, it could be like something like, I don't know, if you could feel like a flame on your palm. Have you ever felt heat on your palm? That may be a physical sign, God awakening you to stand in for something, someone, your church or something. Don't ignore the demands in your spirits. A burden can be an intercessory demand. Coming down to my message very quickly because my time is almost out. It's still part of the message anyways. Burdens are spiritual pregnancy. Reverend already mentioned that in second service. Burdens are spiritual pregnancy, or what is termed a divine conception. A divine conception. You know, I've been pregnant before. You know, when Reverend mentioned told some single and married to come out to describe pregnancy. Unfortunately, the married men could not describe how pregnancy is. And the single guy is permitted because he's single. But the married have seen their wives pregnant, but could not describe it. You know why? Because what you are carrying, nobody else can understand it. Nobody. No two people have the same burden. Even if it's the same, it's not the same weight. I don't know how best to explain it. If me and you, two women, are pregnant with the same gender, we can't feel it the same way. And what that woman is pregnant with, even if it's a girl child, and I'm pregnant with a girl child, it's not the same destiny. So no matter how you explain your assignment to anyone, it's only you that know what you are carrying. The highest anybody will do around you is to support you. They can only talk. They can pray. But it's only you that know the weight of the assignments. You are the only one. No matter how many years, or rather, no matter the 9 months Reverend have seen me pregnant, he cannot understand why I should have cravings. He can't. You know, a couple came to the office one day and the man was complaining that the wife disturbs. She'll be asking for pizza, asking for that. I looked at him and I said, unfortunately, you don't know what it is to be pregnant. That's why you can complain. Yeah, some women overdo it. That's why you would call it overdo. Because you don't know what it is. Obviously, in second service, you could see it with married men that they don't know what it is to be pregnant. So when your wife makes cravings, when she demands for certain things, you can't understand it because you don't know. You have never been pregnant. You know, I see some comments. I see some things. Some males will post caption and say, "Congratulations to us." You know, that's how it's supposed to be because it's an us thing. After all, if there was no man, will the pregnancy be there? But why is an us thing doesn't mean that the man really understands. When I was pregnant, damn, I remember that night when I was in labor. Before then, in the journey, I'll say, Reverend, I want to eat. I'll tell Reverend, I say, sweet, please, I want to eat a particular kind of rice. I used to see his face, so even if he finally buys it. My mind, I'll be like, I don't blame you. He finally buys it, but I'll look at his face. He wants to grumble, but he won't back because of the Holy Spirit. Many times it happens, I'll just look at his face. Then we didn't even have a car, so imagine he has to be walking down. I was a pastor. I remember one night, I remember that day, we went out and I said, sweet, please, I need this particular. I said, can't we buy rice from here? What is there around here? I said, no, I want rice from one wheelbarrow like that. Firewood, you should smell firewood. I don't understand. I said, I don't understand. And I head back. I don't say twice. I looked at him. Sometimes that's caused arguments between both of us when I'm pregnant. And when I'm like, someone I'm looking at Reverend. It's Reverend. I say, hey, nah, he wants to come here, but will not hold back. He doesn't want to argument. Can't you eat this? What's the big deal? I say, please, help me buy. And he went to look for the firewood rice. The way I rushed it, even in his mind, like, even one of the days when he passed for like, what was it that? And the thing was tasteless. On a normal day, I won't eat such thing. But I ate it. Tasteless. He was looking at me wondering. He asked me, he said, what was in that rice? You can't understand what was in the rice. Because you're not the one who is pregnant. What am I trying to say? You see, when you carry a burden, there's what people have appetite for, you don't have it. When you carry a burden, what people crave for, you can't crave for it. Daniel had a burden when he entered Babylon. How people sleep, you can't sleep. I was somewhere retreating and I just put my phone on DND, and a close friend of mine that was pregnant, she just gave birth. I got a message. She said, Anwinli, I didn't even know she tried calling me. My phone was on DND. I needed to hear God. And then I put off my room from DND and I got her message. Around past 12 a.m. She said, I'm lonely. Everybody's sleeping. I'm so lonely. I looked at my husband, he's sleeping, snoring away. He said, I'm just tired, I can't wait. And I called her immediately. She was crying. She was down like, I can't sleep. I've been trying to have heartburn. I have this. I'm saying this to say, when you carry a burden, because a burden is spiritual pregnancy. That's what I'm bringing into the physical pregnancy. When you carry a burden, when people are sleeping, you can't sleep. You can't. You can't sleep. Look at the story of Jesus. In the Garden of Gethsemane. The 3 people he carried out of his 12. They were sleeping. King James Version in Matthew 26 says they were sleeping from sorrow because they heard the prophecy. They were sorrowful about it. But they did nothing. They slept. But Jesus, who knew the cup he was carrying, couldn't sleep. You can't sleep. You can't. Even when you have you slept and you are talking, and somebody opens their eyes, sleeping by you and say you were saying refresh. You can't sleep. And listen, when you carry a burden, when God puts a burden in you, oppositions are part of it. Oppositions are part of it. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 25 to 28. Quickly. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 25 to 28. It says, 3 times I was beaten with rods. Apostle Paul had a burden for the church. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I have been in the deep. 26. In journeys often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils of my own countrymen, in perils of the Gentiles. Do you see the peril? In perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren. 27. In weariness and toil, in sleeplessness often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. 28. Besides the other things, what comes upon me daily, my deep what? Burden, consign. That's why he's experiencing this. Burdens. You can't, it's not, you can't carry, you can't fulfill the burdens of God without opposition. You see, when people receive prophetic word and they get excited and share, I laugh. Prophetic words don't excite me. When God is giving you a weight that is weightier than my weight. When you weigh your scale, you know you have been on 60-something kg for how many years? The weight of the assignment cannot be compared to your weight. It doesn't even look like your size. Before we had bank accounts. Then before we had the people who don't like you on the journey. The people who have had to discourage other people. Do you know what I've experienced during Refresh Store? You go to African countries. Somebody who is trying to be funny. Let's not even go far. Within one of the persons volunteering for one of the cities, I don't want to mention names, and then her mentor called her and said, "No, you are connected to this woman. You can't shine in our side. You are connected to her. You are making it work. Doing everything they can." The team brought issues. Is it traveling? Is it me being in US? My South Africa flyer has been out. And then this is me coming from Canada 2 days before, or rather a night back to US. After being stressed out, flying from one state to another in the US ministry. And then I flew to Canada, came back, and then a night too. I went to whatever, stayed up, doing all manner of things, doing meetings upon meetings. And then I was on my way to the airport. Got to the airport, waiting for my flight to first Atlanta, having the layover, and then waiting for my flight to Lagos. So that I can leave the next day. When I tell my land, I just have a night in Lagos to go to South Africa because I must land in Lagos. And then I get a call at my boarding gates. Mama, I've been trying to reach you. What's up? He said that the venue that we got for Refresh South Africa, that once later that there are issues that we will not be able to use the place. This was Tuesday. Refresh South Africa was Saturday. And I sat and I said, God, if I don't do this thing, nobody will kill me. Mixed feelings, uncertain things. I was fed up. From one to another. I'm like, God, you pray for finance. Now you have gotten here. It's now this thing. I said, God, what am I going to do? Well, you see, listen. I'm saying this particular experience or instance to say that, listen, even though a burden is original, you may not be able to manifest what God has given you because of the how you handle it. Listen, even if the assignment God has given the burden is not copy and paste, not somebody's own, it is the one God has given, is original. You may not be able to fulfill that God has placed in your heart by how you handle it. Burden is a seed. How you handle it makes it a fruit. Burden is a seed. So when you pray and say, God, give me nations, it doesn't mean you will not have nations. And he says, you know what, go here into the world and do this. It doesn't mean you will not have it. Because burden is a seed. How you handle it is what brings the manifestation. It's what brings the fulfillment. It takes spiritual maturity to handle burdens. Spiritual maturity. And listen, spiritual maturity is not in how long you've been coming to church. It's how much you have grown. You can come to church for long, but if you are not grown, you can't handle. It's a weight. You can't handle it. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11, quickly. First Corinthians 13, verse 11. It says, when I was a child, I spoke as what? A child. I understood as a child. I taught as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. What makes you children? What makes you childish? It is in how you what? Speak. how you understand things, how you think. So listen, when God puts a burden on you, how you speak, how you understand, how you think can make it not fulfilled. Maturity determines fulfillment. Childishness don't bring fulfillment. Maturity. That's what Apostle says. I put away childishness when I became. Because when you grow, you are no longer a child. But when you don't grow, you remain a child. If you look at the story in Numbers 13 about God speaking to Moses and telling them to go into the land and possess it. He said, send spy to the land of Canaan. He selected the men that they should go, including Caleb and Joshua. This is the story tells you how children speak and how they understand. What happened? He said, when they departed, go down to verse 26, Numbers 13. Quickly, just do a quick read. When they departed and came back to Moses and Aaron, they went, and all the congregation of children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. 27. Then they told him and said, we went to the land where you sent us. It truly flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. 28. Nevertheless, this is how children speak. Nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. 29. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, the Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan. 30 quickly. Then Caleb, these other people, this is what they saw, right? They saw giants, people that are mightier than them. Remember, God had already given them the land. When God gives a prophecy to it, has been given. It is for you to behave so you can see it manifest physically. So they went, this is what they saw. You know, everybody sees differently. So God can give you how you see it, what matters. Reverend said it in second service. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, they came back when they saw. Caleb quieted the people before him and said, let us go up at once and take possession. For we are well able to overcome it. 31. But the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able. We are not able to go up against. You see, Reverend mentioned it in second service. The 10 spies came back with a childish response. You know what their childish response? They glorified flesh above God. Because every time you see, I cannot, it means that you were trying to fulfill something out of your own strength. There's something called human strength, something called divine strength. But the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger. This is it, a wrong identity. A wrong identity. No matter how gigantic the vision is, can never be stronger than the God in you. They are stronger than we. There was already an error with their identity. Because you see, spiritual maturity is one who has been able to accept what he has, what he carries. 32. And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants. What you think of, what you understand is how you speak. You see, your understanding and your thoughts is what brings about your speech. The land through which we have gone as spies, a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature. 33. There we saw the giants, descendants of Anak, came from the giants, and we were like, can you imagine that? The giants didn't tell them they were grasshoppers. They told themselves. It wasn't the giants. It was what they already told themselves. If you see yourself as grasshoppers, you cannot fulfill gigantic steps. You can't. Years ago in my marriage, Reverend would tell me, I don't want you to be Anwinli Ojeikere just in my kitchen. I want you to be that woman out there. We'll be talking, we'll argue. And then I'll say, I can't be you. I'm not like this. I realized through all these stages of my life, listen, if God tells you this is you, somebody else tells you, what you don't tell yourself, it can never happen. Never. If you like, have 1,000 motivators. I said, hey, I can't be. I said, you're different. I said, you have it. No matter what anybody around you tells you, if you don't see yourself like that, you'll never be. Who encouraged David? Saul brought him back. Look at this young guy. Where are you going to? Where are you going to? He said, is this not the... Because it's what he told himself. You are the only one that can ever be in your battle, no matter your intercessors. No matter the people, you are the only one there. Ask Jesus. You are the only one. So what you tell yourself, we are like grasshoppers in our own sight. And so we were. I don't know if you guys, are you getting it? We're like grasshoppers in their own sight, self, before the people. That is what they saw. And they also went further to say that's how they are also in front of the people. A child thinks like a child. Understanding like a child. Does what again? Speaks. 3 things makes you know you are childish. How you speak. Will you be scared when God places a boy? Oh, yes, you must, you will. Any vision that you have that does not scare you is not from God. To scare you. Huh? God was showing me a few days ago about 2026. I exclaimed in my room. I was alone. I shouted what my life will look like in 2026. I'm not talking of 2025. For me, it's past. 2026. If it doesn't make you scared, it's not God. It's not a weight. But how you see it, how you handle it, what you say to yourself. Will you be scared? Yes. But when you go about complaining, I can't do it. I can't. Oh, I want this cup to pass me by. Oh, Jesus, it's okay. It's okay to say, I wish this did not come to me. It's okay. But if you drop the cup, that's what makes you childish. It's okay. Jesus felt like it. He felt like dropping the cup. So the feeling will come because it's bigger than you. You will feel like running. It's the truth. But how you handle it, if you handle it with complaints, you are childish. If you quit, you are childish. You are very childish. Hebrews 5 verse 11 to 14, TPT. Quickly. He says we have much to say about this topic, although it is difficult to explain, because you have become too dull and sluggish to understand. For you should already be professors instructing others by now. But instead, you need to be taught from the beginning the basics of God's prophetic oracles. You are like children still needing what? Milk, and not yet ready to digest solid food. For every spiritual infant who lives on milk is not yet what? By the what? There's a revelation. What God has revealed to you will pierce you. But when you are running away from the piercing, you are still a child. You're not yet ready. Matthew 26, verses 6 to 44, very common scripture, we know it. Then Jesus came to a place called Gethsemane and sit here while I go and pray. I'm going down. He says, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. New King James Version, please. My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. I don't know what you guys are switching from it. From verse 36 going down 37, 38. Quickly. Go down to 37, 38, 37. Yeah. Yes. Then he took with him Peter, and he began to be sorrowful and deeply distressed. When you receive a prophetic word over your life, this is real. This is very real. 38. He said to them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. It is real. It's very real. You will feel it. You will feel it. If you don't scream, Jesus, 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 help me, it's not God that sent you. Because if he sent you, you will go back to him. 39. He said, stay and watch with me. Then he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, oh, Father, if it is possible, God, this assignment you gave to me, God, if it's possible, take it away. Take it away. Let this cup pass from me. But he said, nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Because why? The burden of God upon your life is his will. And if you honor him, you must be willing to fulfill the will of God. 40. Came to disciples and found them sleeping. What? Could you not watch with me for 1 hour? 41. Watch and pray. The Spirit indeed is willing. 42. Go to 42. Again, the second time he went away. When the first time they were sleeping. Went away. He went away and prayed, saying, oh, my Father, if this cup cannot pass away from me unless I drink it, your will be what? Be done. 43. Listen. He said, this cup cannot pass me by. Let your will be done. Until your language changes, the manifestation will not happen. I remember one time in the US, I was telling Reverend, I said, I'm tired. I want to go and get a job. I was already doing refresh. What is there in it for me? Just coming out, giving my life to people, waking up, praying, just like that. When I know what I can do business. I can do things. I have a career. I didn't just jump down like that. I went through the 4 walls of university. I'm like, God, I beg anyone pick CV and all and apply for a job. But Reverend told me, he said, listen. He said, you better go and ask God for mercy. He gave you an assignment out of how many persons, how many women in the city of Benin, he gave it to you. And this is what you are saying. You are blaspheming against the Holy Spirit. Go and ask him for mercy. I cried. Even when I was talking, I was crying. I said, you are hard on me. You're hard on me. If you know Reverend, you know better. You're hard on me. God help you dream and you tell him, oh God, I said, you're hard on me, hard on me. I was crying. I said, God help me. God help me. Listen, and he told me, said, you will be stuck in a place. You will never see the dimension God is launching, wanting to launch through you until your language changes. Go and ask him for mercy. I went back. I left him. I cried. I rolled on the ground. I said, God, please, I don't want this, but if it is your will, let your will be done. I cried. And until my speech changed, the dimensions didn't expand. Until my speech changed. Until you grow, you can't grow your depths. Until you grow, you can't grow the dimensions God wants to release upon you. Until you grow, it will still remain a child, a seed. Until you mature. until you get to a point where you shift from childhood stage to manhood. I took away childish things. Until your speech changes, you are not ready to carry and deliver the weight that God has put on your inside. Until it changes. Jesus prayed. I like the way Luke 22 puts it. Luke 22 verse 41, thereabout. You can help me get it very quickly. He says he prayed intensely until there were sweats like drops of blood. Prayed. He prayed in agony. Listen, you cannot deliver the weight of the assignment on your inside if you don't go back to God. It is praying through it. It is praying through it. It is praying for strength to be released upon you. He prayed. If you can give me that particular verse that talks about as he was praying, angels strengthened him. Angels strengthened him as he was praying. When he began to pray, angel was sent on an errand. An angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. That's what happens when you go back to God. When you are scared, when you be like, God, I don't want this. I don't want this prophetic word. It can't be for me. It can't be me to lead these people. It can't be me to carry this. It can't be me. I don't have it. But he didn't drop it. He prayed. As he was praying, an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. Assignment to you this morning. For those who are already tired and saying, God, are you sure I can carry this? You know what you have asked, the questions that have come severally. Are you sure? Lord, are you sure I can? Are you sure I have what it is for a people? And you know the funny thing, as you are doing it, people are criticizing you, are telling yourself, God, are you sure? Are you sure I even have this excellence? Are you sure I can even fulfill anything? Are you sure I'm even good enough? Are you sure? Lord, are you sure you really called me? Have you ever come to a point you sit down and say, God, are you sure you called me? Are you sure? The finance is not even coming for the business. It's not coming for the vision. And you're like, God, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? The Lord wants to strengthen, man. He wants to strengthen you. He wants to strengthen. He wants to supply unto you strength for the assignment. Votage, can you stand on your feet? Are you sure? Are you sure, Lord, you really called me? Where are these things? If you called me, why is it happening? Why can't I see the finance? Where are the resources that I need? Equip me with the why is my strength? Why does it feel like it looks like I'm getting tired? And the Lord will begin to supply strength. The Lord will begin to supply strength to you. Can you raise your voice? Can you raise your voice and ask him for strength? Isaiah 42 verse 29 KJV. Media, quickly. Isaiah 40 verse 29 KJV. Isaiah 40 verse 29. He gives power to defense, and to them that have no might, he increased strength. Hey, some of you are carrying burdens for your family. Oh, like a Nehemiah, he carried burden for the walls of Jerusalem so that it can be rebuilt. Some of you are carrying burdens for your city, burdens for your nation, burdens for that company. Can you raise your voice and say, Lord, give me strength? He giveth power to defense. Not necessarily someone who is fainting or dying. Someone that feels weak. Oh, someone that knows that I cannot run this on my own. He giveth power. The Lord wants to supply power. There's something called dunamis. Power that causes a change. Power that brings fulfillment. Come on, raise your voice. For this assignment, Lord, these weights, Lord, give unto me your strength. John 16 verse 21, KJV. Listen, for some of you here, God is already putting an intercessory demand on your inside. Don't ignore the fear. Voltage, pray. John 16 verse 21, KJV. It says, a woman, when she's in travail, she's in labor, has sorrow, because her hour is come. Sometimes one of the signs to know that you are in a season is you begin to you begin to feel this. It's not pain in the in your physical. You just begin to feel this weight of a season upon you. You just begin to come rested. You have this discomfort, and that's how you know that your season has come. You are close. You are close. You are close to birthing forth. You are close to delivering forth that which is in your womb. Can you raise your voice and say, oh God, Lord, strengthen me, oh God, strengthen me, Lord. Don't travail, Lord. I will not quit on what you have given to me to carry. I will not quit. I will not quit on my priesthood. Listen, burdens are also for seasons. There's a body for a season and you pass that. He gives you another. One of the things I hear very loud in my spirit is that he wants to put a new weight upon you. Hey, Voltage, pray. Voltage, pray. You have left a season, a new season as a match. He wants I don't know what